Hi, I'm Kelly-Renae Huber, and I'm an Executive Liaison here at the Salt River Project. I actually have the coolest job here at SRP. I get to primarily serve as Chief of Staff to our General Manager and CEO. And so by doing that, I get to work with our executive leadership team, with SRP employees, and with leaders at all levels in order to make sure that we are providing the right information to make strong decisions in the organization. So I started at SRP 8 years ago, actually in their Washington, D.C. office. I went from being a lobbyist for a different utility, and I said I don't want to be a lobbyist anymore, and I decided to make the jump to a different position and focus more on coalition building. And so from DC, I built up that position and just worked as hard as I could and ended up applying for a job out here that I thought spoke to my strong suits, and was accepted to that position and then moved to Arizona. So I have a bachelor's degree in communication and actually a second degree in Russian from the University of New Mexico. And then I also received a master's degree in communication from Johns Hopkins University. I have to say, having the degree really gave me the step forward into SRP. Having the undergraduate degree like I did, joining Salt River Project, it gave me the educational background needed to achieve the goals of that department. And then with my master's degree, I really think that gave me the foot forward in getting the position I currently have. Oh gosh, a day at SRP. Well, I come at 7:30, which is great because no one else is here until 8:30, so you get a solid hour working on emails and responding to any requests that come your way. I spend the next couple hours working on projects that my boss has given me over the last week or so and making sure I achieve those goals. And then typically it's meeting time, so the board and council meet 11 times, for example, this upcoming month, and so I'll go to each of those meetings, listen not only to the content that SRP provides to the elected board and council, but also noting what questions need to be followed up on. So that's a major part of what I do. I go back to my office, I update spreadsheets to make sure I have those questions notated, and then I work with our leaders in making sure we're responding. I know this question. So the best part about my job is the opportunities I get to dive into a process and really learn about why we're doing things the way we're doing them, and then understand how we can improve them, and then working with the team in order to make those goals and milestones in order to improve something, either based on costs or maybe we're spending less time doing something. But I love having that opportunity to dive into projects that way. You know, success for me is really threefold. I feel most successful when I go home when I know that I've impacted somebody else. So maybe I've helped them with a project, maybe I've helped them just set up coffee for a meeting, but if I feel like I've made an impact on their lives, I feel pretty darn good when I go home. Another way I define success is when I've built trusted relationships among the leaders of the organization. That's a major part of my job, but it doesn't come naturally. And so building that trust, showing you have integrity and being the right person for the job, and being there is really important. And then another way I define success is frankly marking something off my to-do list. So you have those goals and milestones, but when you finally finish the project and you get to check it off, that is very successful. So I think the most important thing for me to stay ahead of the curve for where I want to go professionally is really more focused on characteristics. I think having the right attitude when you come to work every day, being positive, not only enjoying what you do, but bringing that approach to anything that you tackle is incredibly important. It's also really important to be accountable. Sometimes I make mistakes. I often make mistakes, but knowing them, fessing up to them, and finding solutions before things unravel is really important. And then just keeping your head down and working hard is probably the most important thing above networking to do when you have a position like mine.